Hi everyone, welcome to my studio again at KarenPaulStudio.com. And in today's webinar, I just want to share with you a great question that I think will resonate with a lot of you who love to paint and draw, or maybe you're an aspiring painter. And so a lot of people talk about how busy their schedules are and just making time to really be consistent with painting. And so I totally understand that. We live in a very fast-paced world with so many distractions, and sometimes it can be really difficult or just feel, really daunting to think about, sitting down and creating. So I have a really great tip. Actually, I have many great tips, but we're just going to focus on one today that I think will be very helpful for you. And I want to talk about that in just a minute. And I wanted to let you know that at KarenPaulStudio.com you can go on there if you're interested, and if you want to know more about some of these topics, you can go ahead and investigate our site. There's a place where we actually have a great learning platform, and you can join the online school. And what's so nice about that is you're constantly getting fresh inspiration. We have, really beautiful, inspiring photo reference that we use with our lessons, and lots of webinars every week that really go deep with a lot of these topics, and also very broad. We cover a lot of different things, and so you can definitely go check us out at KarenPaulStudio.com if you're interested in more. So anyway, the short answer to that question is I would say you want to think about going small and keeping a sketchbook. And I just want to show you this little sketchbook that I have here. Now this is a practice that I started when I was in art school. They really encouraged us to keep a sketchbook, and I noticed that when I did that, it really helped my skills really develop at a much faster rate. And it's because you're not doing these really long, more in-depth art projects. You're really just taking 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes 1 hour if you have that, to go ahead and do a quick piece of artwork, whether that be a drawing or whether that be a watercolor sketch. And I'm going to show you a few that I have in here. And so this is one of some grapes, and you can see how simple this is. It's just a few washes. It's not an elaborate finished painting. And one over here where I was just studying the light on a strawberry, and just the shadow in here and putting in the little details. So I think that these are so helpful, because in each of these little paintings you are really learning a lot. And let me see if I can show you a couple here. Oh, here's just a really simple one of a little bluebird. Isn't that cute? And just with a few wet and wet washes on here, a little detail for the eye and the beak. And yeah, just real simple. And here's one where I had more time. So I took 2 pages and did this peacock feather, just kind of playing around with it, exploring new things. It feels a lot like journaling, when you get your thoughts out, or when you're just wanting to kind of play around in a really safe place. And that's why I love keeping a sketchbook. And I'm telling you, if you do this, you're really going to find that this is going to jumpstart your skill level and your creativity. So here's another couple of ones too. Now I love painting fruit, and they're so accessible because you usually have a fruit bowl at your house, right? Or I actually love to go to the market and pick out some interesting fruit. In fact, I was at Whole Foods Market the other day, and I saw these really exotic fruit. I think they were dragon fruit, another little spiky one that looked like it was some exotic fruit from some country. And so I like, I like picking things like that that are really interesting and colorful and maybe even exotic. But whatever you find inspiring, that's what you want to paint. And I would say you want to keep it simple. That's why I think fruit is such a great thing to start with. In fact, I have one in front of me, and I got these also from the market from Whole Foods the other day. And I just love these because they're simple. It's just a round shape, so it's really going to help you see light and shadow. You can see if you have a good light source on it, you'll see where the highlight is and where the shadow side. So it teaches you about that. And then you have this interesting little stem here with the leaves on it, for something, like some curvy shapes here, and these are starting to kind of dry up, so they look really interesting. So yeah, think about things that are not too difficult. Start off with an easy on-ramp too. And don't start with a really big, elaborate landscape. You know, maybe if you are going to go outdoors and do some plein air watercolor sketching, then start out maybe painting just a little mountain, or maybe a small area of the water, or just one tree. And what you're going to see is that as you take time to do these short little studies, you're actually going to be learning and exploring so much, and then you will be able to take on those more challenging kind of paintings because you already would have explored some of those things. For instance, if you're doing a landscape, maybe you paint a tree, maybe you're painting just one of a sky. You're getting to know all those different aspects, and then you can put them all together later on after you've done that for a while in a larger format painting. So I hope that this has been really helpful for you, and I'd love to hear from you. I like to hear your questions. So if I have time on our program or I'm able to get to those, I certainly will read those and we can talk about this further. So stay tuned for more at KarenPaulStudio.com on these weekly webinars.